Hello and welcome to the show for our final versus the community on Forza 5. We're going to be doing some cycled production racing, starting with the Peugeot 308 GTIs. For this, all of the cars are completely standard, absolutely nothing on the vehicles have changed, so everybody is in absolutely equal cars. It's all down to driver skill, and as you can imagine, in some low-class hatchbacks that aren't particularly fast, the racing is really rather close, as we're going 3 and 4 wide through a lot of these early turns. It's too wide through. This is a really fast section of the track through here, and cars are too wide. There's a green Peugeot that very nearly gets turned around. Car gets kind of trapped on the inside as we head down there. A few cars escaping out a little bit wide. I love this kind of racing. For me, this is some of the most fun that you can have on Forza or any racing game. You take some very slow cars and have a big lobby full of them, and the racing is generally fantastic. As we come to the end of a pretty crazy first lap, still the blue car here is fighting, trying to find his way past, but he gets stuck out on the outside. I mean, with everybody in exactly equal cars, you want to be making sure you can get a neat run out of turns. You saw the black and green car there made up huge gains as the cars ahead started squabbling and tussling and taking slightly wonky lines, and it doesn't take much for things to go wrong. In the background you see a car, someone's controller turned off. The car went flying into the wall. A little bit unfortunate, but quite lucky didn't take anyone else out with it, to be honest. This group remained ridiculously close. The leader was very fortunate. The leader managed to break away on the first lap and could pull away, while this lot were just constantly squabbling over the second place. You can just about see the red Peugeot vanishing off in the distance, and this lot were just constantly switching positions. There was a little bit of lag. It wasn't too bad, in all honesty, in this race. It really wasn't too bad, but you saw that there. The game went a slight bit crazy. Yeah, I mean, these guys, if you were in this group, sometimes you could get up to second, other times you'd be dropped all the way back down to sort of 6th and 7th, and it just changed so quickly. The two white Peugeots here trying to go side by side. Up ahead, they were trying to go 4 wide through that first section. It was always likely to end in tears. The turquoisey blue car ended up getting turned around. There's a couple of ghost cars again where people lagged out, littering the tracky, so ignore the goldy, yellowy coloured Peugeot around there. Yeah, I mean, it was always likely to end in a bit of contact here and there. The thing was, though, if you did get turned around, you could normally get the car going pretty quickly and just join back in the sort of the back of the train of cars. Yes, you lost a whole bunch of positions, but you still remained there with the battling, and because the battling was so fierce, if you did drop a little bit back, it wasn't going to take you very long to catch up. The white Esso car there got things really wrong under braking. These Peugeots, I hadn't driven them before, are quite peculiar cars under braking. The back really does like to move around under braking and do strange things. Yeah, it was a big slide under braking at that particular one. You see, despite that big slide, the Esso car has caught up to these guys as they fought their way through the final turn. Was thinking about having a look. The blue car that's now in third was going defensive. As silver car got a wheel on the curb. There is a horrible curb that if you dip a wheel over the edge of it, you can sort of lose the back of the car, and that was caused problems for the silver car. There's a little bit of bumping. Cars got sort of slightly spun and turned around, but everybody got back going again and rejoined in this train of vehicles. I had quite a poor start. I've been involved in a bit of early contact. I apologise, it was my fault on that one. Turned someone around and waited for them, but it didn't take long for me to catch up with this group. They were so busy fighting amongst themselves. If you were in clean air, you could go so much quicker than these cars, and I would proceed to go around the outside. The turquoise car is off exploring again. That's a tough place going around the outside. It's not a particularly fun manoeuvre going around there, especially not in Peugeots that have quite a lot of body roll to them, and still this fight for the last remaining podium position was carrying on. The green Peugeot managed to vanish off up the road again, being out of the battle, while this lot fought incredibly fiercely over the remaining podium spot. The blue car going very defensive into turn 1. The white cars coming together, sliding about, and again we're almost 3 wide through the next corner. The silver car had got himself up into third as some understeery Peugeots escaped the track, and the more they fought, me and the turquoise car were now being sort of dragged in towards this group. Again, we've got more cars trying to go around the outside. I was trying to go around the outside of the turquoise car. I couldn't do it. The silver car, I think he gets 2 wheels across the curb. He runs wide, takes a very shallow line through the next corner, and everybody's trying to find a way past. I don't think I've ever been in a race where cars have tried going 4 wide in more places than this one. It was just constantly, it was a fantastic view for me in this one. It was incredible. Everybody was trying to fit 2 wide through every corner and 3 wide when they could as we come up towards the final turn. I had a big dive trying to get past the turquoise car. The silver car gets a little bit gets out a little bit wide. I'm not sure if he was pushed out wide, quite possibly. And now we're going, we're trying to fit 4 Peugeots into a very small piece of racetrack. Me and the turquoise car are coming. There's another blue Peugeot a little bit further back that's there, ready to pick up the pieces if everything goes terribly, terribly wrong. The Esso Peugeot had got himself to the lead of this group. The blue and orange one is very defensive again down into this first corner, and everybody is now squabbling for the same bit of road. The silver car in the end has to take avoiding action as he gets stuck out on the very far outside. And again, we're still now all 2 by 2 through the next corner. More cars are off exploring a little bit wide through there. It's not a line you particularly want to take. The curbs here are very, very, very vicious and will cause issues for your car. For the second lap in a row, I was trying to go around the outside of a blue Peugeot through here. Still couldn't quite make it work. I think the silver car was up on 2 wheels across that curb. The 2 blue cars have a little bit of a coming together. Unfortunately, I have nowhere to go. I have to get stuck behind them, having to wait for them to get on the power again, and still they continue to squabble. I spy my opportunity to get myself up the inside. The silver car runs out of road on the outside and drops to the back of the train, and now we have another of the blue Peugeots joining in the fight. Yeah, this was a pretty crazy group in this race. I had a dive. I think it's actually on to the final lap. I had a dive at the inside of the turquoise car, but couldn't get it done there. It was a bit of an ambitious one, to say the least. It had been an absolutely incredible race for us in the mid-pack. At the front, though, as you can see, things were much calmer. Having got to the lead on lap 1, while the rest of us all squabbled over position, the red Peugeot would drive away from the field to take victory. And second place did a similar thing after the first couple of laps. Managed to just break out of that group. And while we were so fiercely fighting over that third place, yeah, these guys could run in clean air and we're going much faster. Huge amount of fun, though. Lower class racing with these kind of vehicles, you can have so much fun with their cars, and that was a very, very enjoyable race. For our final versus the community on Forza 5, we had to have something a little bit silly to go racing with. So we have got the Lancia Delta S4s. You may wonder, well, why are these cars so silly? Well, their suspension is peculiar, to say the least. They are not easy cars to drive at all. There are many, many handling issues with these cars. Unfortunately, further back, things went a little bit wrong as, a car got turned round and then the rest of the field couldn't check up in time, and quite a few of us ended up a little bit broken, and we see a little bit more of some strange lag. The leaders, though, go too wide at the top of the hill. I would not want to be going around the outside in these cars. They are very unpredictable, and that is a very fast corner to be trying to go around the outside. They make it through, though. They get through that very fast corner safely. The leader goes defensive into the hairpin. Hairpin is a great place to get an overtake done around this lap. The Martini car is having a look. However, here comes in the unique characteristics of the Delta. Often when cornering, you'll get the car up on 3 wheels, and when it goes up on 3 wheels, you kind of lose all steering, and it makes them very, very uncooperative to drive. So often we would see cars kind of catch up to somebody, then make a mistake and fall back, or like we see here, the turquoise car got things very, very wrong, got a big slide on and then out of the chicane, just runs a tiny bit wide, gets a wheel on the grass and kind of gets stuck out there. The red car moves up a position, but he finds himself on 3 wheels and just can't stop the car from steering, so you have to slam on the brakes, otherwise you're going to end up in the pit wall, and he loses the position again. These were, as I said, very, very tough cars to go racing with. They sound crazy. I love the sound of the S4s, but yeah, to drive they were quite difficult. The battle of the broken cars that went to the pits. This was all over, I think, about 10th place at this time. 3 of us, the purple car got killed in a lag, the turquoise car and me got killed in the first corner shenanigans, with everybody trying to avoid one another. We all went through the pits at about the same time and came out and just continued continued our race. I got an opportunistic pass after the turquoise car was slow getting out of the hairpin, saw my opportunity, had to go for it, really. But you'll see these cars as we go through the turns, the amount they move around. We get another car gets a really big slide. The amount they move around on the suspension is... it's something to behold. The turquoise, the sort of the purpley car has all manner of problems getting out of the chicane. The car almost tries to drag him in the pit lane again, and he just couldn't steer it away from it. So he was slow onto the start-finish straight. I was trying, having a look, seeing if I could do anything. Of course, in completely identical cars, you're not really going to be able to out-drag them. So in the end, the purple car goes defensive. I'm stuck trying to go around the outside, and that's an unlikely manoeuvre to pull at the first corner here. Very tough to go around the outside there as somebody else escaped off the track. I was pleased to see, though, that there was quite a lot of close racing. I knew these were likely to be difficult cars, and yeah, it was a little bit of a... It's for a little bit of fun, really, sticking these in here. But there was actually plenty of close racing. People were getting the hang of the car. On the most part, there was some close racing as these two, or the black car, was trying to find a way past. The silver car, you saw it. There's the two-wheeled antics again. The silver car got carried away up on two wheels, and that kind of will fire the car across the track, giving the position to the black vehicle. Yeah, there was more close racing in this than I perhaps feared we might end up with. It was surprisingly good fun, even with me well down the order. We had quite a lot of fun with our little battle. At the front, though, it was the red Lancia that was to go on to take victory. Led from the first lap to the end. The Martini car would catch up to him and then make a mistake and drop back again, and that would just sort of continue that kind of pattern throughout the race. So yeah, it was certainly a test of driving these cars. They are. If you haven't had a go with the S4, it's completely standard. Go give it a try. They are weird cars, but yeah, it was something a little bit different. Yes, the field did get quite spread out. It was very, very easy to make mistakes with them, but yeah, it was a surprising amount of fun. And for our final race, we would go to Laguna Seca with some Ferrari 355s. Now, you may notice there are only 10 of us in this race. For our farewell of Forza 5, it decided it didn't really want us to go and was playing dodgy with the lobbies. I'm pretty sure Forza 4 did a very similar thing as well on our final one there. Yeah, we got to 10 people in the lobby, and then nobody else could connect. It just wouldn't let anybody else connect or me send invites. It sort of all broke. So yeah, we had to go racing with 10 cars. Didn't stop things from being all really rather close on this opening lap. Yeah, you know things are close when the cameras can't quite figure out where they want to be and make cars vanish. Again, we're trying to go 3 wide down this straight. The black car dives to the inside, just ever so slightly tags the grey vehicle. The poor red Ferrari has lost all of the ground. Now we've got a yellow Ferrari that's making up all of the positions on the run up the hill. And again, we're 3 wide at the top of the course. The yellow Ferrari very, very wisely backs out of that one. Otherwise, we would have had a very, very big accident. It's still 2x2 as we come up the next course. I don't think we've ever had a versus community where we've tried to fit so many cars into such small spaces and everybody sort of getting away with it with kind of only minor bumps and so on. Yeah, everyone did very, very well on this opening lap to fit the Ferraris through all of the corners. Things did go a little wrong further down. There was, I think, one of the blue car there got sort of lost it going sideways through the long corner, and yeah, so he's sliding in front of the whole field meant a few cars had to kind of check up and dodge. But yeah, there was a little bit of sort of the odd scrape here and there on the cars, but on the most part, despite everybody trying to fit in the same piece of road, we all got through the opening laps pretty cleanly, and the fantastic racing continued with these cars as 2 of the red Ferraris were dicing over one of the lower positions. A fantastic cutback from the car that we are following. However, it doesn't really cover the inside and just kind of leaves the door open for the black and red car to have a dive up the inside. I don't think he was even expecting him to be that close. He kind of turned in on him a little bit. Yeah, you can't leave the door open. It was a great overtake in the first place, but you leave the door open like that, somebody is going to take advantage. I dropped to the back of the field after I had a spin coming down the corkscrew. But again, much like with the Peugeots though, if you did make a little mistake like that, there was a blue Ferrari as well that did a similar thing a couple of corners later. If you did drop to the back of the field, because we were all so busy arguing amongst ourselves over positions, you would catch up to the groups pretty quickly, as it only took me sort of half a lap to be back in the action as again we're going 2 wide. I mean, these are not the greatest overtaking positions to be trying. Going 2 wide as the car we're following just dips a wheel on the sand, and it's very easy if you do dip a wheel on the sand just to have you kind of get your car dragged off the track, and you can fight it as much as you like, but you're going to lose time, and in this case allowed my orange Ferrari to get past. This was, I think it was a battle for 5th going on. At the moment, as we come down towards the first turn, it is a big dive from the blue car up the inside. He manages to get it stopped, but you can hold it all the way around the outside. It would put you on the inside for the next corner. Unfortunately, the pair of them tag a little bit, ending up with one car off the track. I was having a sniff around, trying to get up the inside. Again, it was just another crazy group, like we're seeing with the Peugeots, only these cars are much, much faster than the 308s. We just had a big train. Again, the leaders, once they had got clear of this big group of cars, they could just run clean laps and pull away from us while we were all busy squabbling over position. Unfortunately for me, while I would make my way through the group, I could see 3rd and 4th up ahead of me, and we were catching them quite quickly. I may have taken a little bit too much curb, and the slightly twitchy Ferrari would catch me out. I clobbered the curb too much on the inside, and unfortunately, spinning in front of the charging pack is never a good thing. Amazingly, I only collected one car, and that car was, well, it was still okay to continue. I was ruined. My car was wrecked. Quite annoyed with myself on that one. Certainly could have had a podium in this final race. But yeah, it happens, unfortunately. On the closing stages, the field did spread out a little bit more. We didn't quite continue the absurd amount of cars in the same piece of road for the entire race. This was the battle for the remaining podium position. The blue car tried to go around the outside. It's a long way around the outside of that particular corner. He couldn't quite make it work, and again, the yellow car is going very, very defensive. It leaves the blue vehicle without very many options. However, taking that tighter line, taking that defensive line can often make you slow off the corner. Blue car does a cutback, and as they run up the top of the hill, the blue car can get up the inside. It's not really, that turn is not a turn you want to be stuck on the outside for. The yellow car has got really very little choice other than to concede the position. He is close. He could have a look. It looks like he thinks about it, changes his mind, having a dive at the corkscrew. There's another car, and then just the rest of the train is ready and waiting in case anything happens. At the front, though, it was the black Ferrari that would go on to take victory. As I said, first and second, again, much like with the Peugeots, could escape the pack. They could run away at the front and be running in clean air, not having to worry about attacking and defending and so on. And yeah, they would get a decent margin between them. But yeah, despite it being 10 of us, still an awful lot of fun with these Ferraris. Just little bit of a shame that I managed to put mine in the wall, and I apologise to the car that got caught up in that. Yeah, it's racing. Just that does sometime happen. Anyway, that is it for this versus the community. The next one, well, we're going to be going to Forza 6, and since it doesn't launch sort of officially in the UK until the 18th, which is a Friday, we are going to be racing on Sunday as opposed to where we normally race on a Thursday. So we're going to be racing on Sunday the 20th. We are going to be running open C-Class cars. I ummed and ahed over what on earth we should do. I figured, though, for our first one here, while everybody's relatively inexperienced with the game, we'll start with something nice and safe. C-Class cars, you can get some decent parts on them, you can make them pretty quick, then you can make them handle pretty well. So I figured, yeah, open C-Class is a good place to start with everybody a little bit inexperienced with the game, especially those that won't be getting it until the 18th and so on. So yeah, that's what we're going to be running. If you would like to sign up and take part, then you can go to our forums. There will be a link in the description. Find the FailRace versus the community section, and the sign-up thread will be in there. However, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.